The public has constantly scrutinized Paris Jackson due to her outspoken nature and strong ties to her father's legacy. The spotlight has always been there, even if she has attempted to establish her personality. Paris's supporters were astonished and alarmed when she recently revealed something many had dreaded for years. How will what she has shown affect Paris's future in the spotlight? Come along as we examine the intricacies of Paris Jackson's journey and reveal the truth behind her shocking confession. The mothers of the children. Michael Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis Presley's daughter, in the 1990s before his children were born. But after a few years, the famous couple were divorced, allegedly because Lisa Marie didn't want children and Michael Jackson did. Jackson wed Debbie Rowe a few months later. At the clinic where Michael sought treatment for his vitiligo, Rowe was an assistant to the dermatologist. 3 months after Lisa Marie and Michael's breakup, the pair married and had 2 kids, Paris and Michael Jr. After 2 years of marriage, they divorced, with Michael receiving custody. Michael Joseph Jackson, a.k.a. Prince. Despite their brief marriage, Rowe and Jackson had a successful union, and Debbie gave birth to 2 children. Named after his father, Michael Joseph Jackson Jr. was the first child. On February 13, 1997, he was born in Los Angeles, California. Prince was Michael Jr.'s nickname. After Michael Jr. was born, Rowe went to a friend's house and Michael returned to Neverland Ranch with him. Debbie consented to have children with Michael Jackson, who only wanted them. Thus, the children were raised in the limelight, enjoying the comforts of fame and fortune while residing at Neverland Ranch. Professional family portraits. Michael Jr. was always a significant part of his father's life because he was his firstborn son. When he was younger, Michael would engage professional photographers to take pictures of Michael Jr. and dress him in expensive little attire. The devoted father wished to preserve every memory of his son's early years. Michael Jr., often known as Prince, talked about how dedicated and helpful their father was and how he instilled magic into every part of their childhood. The young man still makes an effort to remember Michael every day after taking his father's passing very personally. Paris Michael Catherine Jackson. Paris Michael Catherine Jackson was the name of the girl who was Michael and Debbie's second child. She was born in Beverly Hills, California on April 3, 1998. Her first name was given to her due to an agreement between Michael, LaToya, and Kathy Hilton, while her middle names, Michael and Catherine, are derived from her father and grandmother. Paris Hilton required her name because the 3 of them had vowed to name their baby Paris if any of them had one. Debbie and Michael broke up with Paris Jackson shortly after she was born, and she was also taken directly to Neverland Ranch. Growing up on the Neverland Ranch. A world-class amusement park with a carousel, Ferris wheel, roller coaster, and other attractions encircled the kids as they grew up on the Neverland Ranch. However, Michael prioritized education, and the children were only permitted to visit the theme park after they had completed their studies. The ranch also had a lake, formal gardens, a stone bridge, a waterfall, and a zoo. The youngsters could go on the 3 railroads on the Neverland property in their electric train. The ranch is currently owned by Ron Burkle, an American businessman. Wearing the latest fashions. Michael Jackson, a fashion icon in his own right, outfitted his children in the newest styles and the priciest, most stylish children's brands. The children were frequently dressed up. The guys wore suits and slacks, while the girls wore formal gowns with bows or headbands. Each of the children developed their sense of style as they grew older. In contrast, Michael wore his distinctive sequined outfits until he died in 2009. Paris has a unique and fascinating style. She frequently dons vibrant, flamboyant, and bohemian ensembles. Prince Michael Jackson II, a.k.a. Blanket. Michael Jackson desired more children, even though he never got married again. He gave birth to Prince Michael Jackson II, his 3rd child, via surrogacy in 2001. Michael's name appears among the names of all his children, but the genesis of Prince Michael Jackson II's moniker is peculiar. When the kid was delivered, Michael covered his head with a blanket and kept him outside their hotel room in Berlin. Prince was also known as Blanket because, as children, they frequently covered their faces in public to protect themselves from the obtrusive paparazzi. I won't grow up. Despite being impacted by numerous outstanding art pieces, Michael Jackson was most affected by one tale. The J.M. Peter Pan, based on the Barrie story, was adapted into a Disney movie and a Broadway musical. The book, which served as the basis for Jackson's Neverland Ranch, is about a youngster who refuses to grow up. Growing up, Peter Pan flew to Neverland, a beautiful location where all the lost boys reside, to escape. Children in Neverland coexist with pirates, mermaids, and Indians. Growing up with the story, Michael Jackson's kids would even act out the performance in their costumes. Trying to avoid the paparazzi. Paparazzi frequently harassed Michael Jackson because he was one of the most well-known individuals in the world. Nevertheless, the celebrity tried to shield his children from the flashes and media exposure while they were little. The children would cover their faces with masquerade masks or gauzy scarves to escape the cameras. Blanket got his nickname because the masks, scarves, and blankets did little to stop the snooping photographers from taking pictures of the kids. They grew accustomed to the attention since they were the children of such a well-known celebrity. Friends with the Hadids. Because of the media and paparazzi, Michael Jackson homeschooled all three of his children. The main issue was that the three kids had a smaller social circle because they learned at home. Fortunately, they became friends with several of their father's friends who had children. For example, Bella and Gigi Hadid's father, Mohammed Hadid, were good friends with Michael. Paris even became a model thanks to the well-known modeling family. Paris Jackson and Paris Hilton are also pals in keeping with their parents' friendship. The siblings have a tight relationship with Willow and Jaden Smith as well. Quality time with the family. Spending time with his family was vital to Michael Jackson, who had always desired children. The pop artist tried his hardest to ensure they spent quality time together as a family, away from prying eyes and flashing cameras from the media. Michael and the kids also spent time with their grandparents and other Jackson 5 members. Naturally, the paparazzi could still take images of the family at their private events. Regretfully, Michael died before witnessing his children grow up. Losing Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson's death at the young age of 50 was not anticipated. However, the singer overdosed on a combination of medications on June 25, 2009. While some thought the celebrity had been addicted to his prescription drugs, others suspected foul play. Doctors determined that drug interactions were the cause of death for the musician, who had been in good health at the time of his death. Michael's children temporarily left the spotlight after losing their father and moved in with their grandma, Catherine, who was appointed legal guardian. A big support system. The Jacksons are fortunate to have a large family, and following Michael's passing, his grandmother, Catherine, and cousin, TJ, intervened and assisted in raising them. Prince, Paris, and Blanket missed Michael, their devoted father who had raised them throughout their lives, even with the love and support of their extended family. The Jackson children didn't communicate with their mothers because they were raised entirely by their father, and Blanket didn't even know who his mother was. The children were supported by their family, godparents, and friends, including Macaulay Culkin and Diana Ross. For better or for worse. After the children's father passed away, everything changed for them. They were enrolled at a nearby private school after their grandmother, Catherine Jackson, relocated them to her house in Calabasas, California. Suddenly, the children attended school among other kids rather than living and learning in their homes. LaToya Jackson, Michael's older sister, insisted that sending the children to a private school was the right decision. Instead of being insulated and simply spending time with family and friends, she believed it was essential that kids learn how to make friends and hone their social skills. Lifetime Achievement Award. Michael Jackson received the Grammy Award for Lifetime Achievement in 2010. All three of his children went to the Grammys on Michael's behalf. Prince and Paris, the two eldest children, proudly accepted the coveted prize posthumously in honor of their late father. At the Grammys, Michael's children dressed in black in his tribute. After receiving the award from Lionel Richie, they spoke to the audience and thanked their loved ones for their support and Michael's supporters for sticking by him through good times and bad. The kids thanked their deceased father for using his music to spread love. Hosting Entertainment Tonight. Michael Jr., better known as Prince, had his stage debut in 2013 at 16. He appeared on the talk show Entertainment Tonight as an on-air correspondent. The young man interviewed Zach Braff, James Franco, and other celebs for the show. Prince asks the well-known actors in the interview how they would advise someone to get started in the entertainment industry. He clarified that his goal was to become a multifaceted celebrity exceptional in producing, directing, acting, and screenwriting. Prince clarified that music is essential to him, but he is not as musically gifted as his father. Starring on the small screen. Prince appeared briefly in the final episode of the CW's 90210 reboots, just a few months after his appearance on Entertainment Tonight. Despite playing a tiny part, the young man showed promise and portrayed his character well in the May 2013 episode. He played a young adolescent who had been hurt at a concert. Unlike Jessica Stoop, who played Silver, Prince received a few lines in his scene, even though his role was merely a cameo. Prince was commended by the episode's director, who also noted that he seemed comfortable being filmed. Going to university. Since 2013, Prince has shifted his focus and chosen to attend college rather than stay on the television. He thought a degree would be helpful, but he still wanted to be successful in the entertainment world. The young man enrolled in seminars at Loyola Marymount University in California because he recognized the need for business acumen among producers. At 22, Prince received his business administration degree from Loyola Marymount in 2019. T.J. Jackson, attending his cousin's graduation, commended him for accepting his bachelor's degree, learning a great deal, and constantly helping others. A loyal YouTube following. After graduating from college, Michael Jr. was prepared to embark on his next journey. He works with his younger brother, Blanket, who goes as Bigi these days. The brothers started a YouTube channel where they analyze films alongside their cousin, Taj Jackson. They discuss and review recently released movies on the YouTube program. Avengers Endgame was their first film review. Among other things, they have reviewed the movies John Wick, Aladdin, and Batman, as well as the television show Game of Thrones. Prince also owns the Heal Los Angeles Foundation, a nonprofit. The value of family. Michael Jackson made sure that his 3 children recognized the value of family. Thus, it's thrilling that the 2 brothers launched a YouTube channel together, demonstrating their continued closeness despite their father's untimely death. In addition, Bigi often shuns the limelight. He is still relatively young and has probably been traumatized by being a child focus of the paparazzi. His choice to appear on their YouTube show is unexpected, especially in light of the media frenzy that engulfed their family following Michael's passing. Paris, all grown up. Paris has grown up and has even been romantically associated with model Cara Delevingne and singer Gabriel Glenn. Paris, however, denied having a romantic involvement with Cara, stating that they are currently only friends. However, the model has acknowledged having romantic relationships with both men and women. She and Delevingne went to the 2021 Oscars together as dates, which sparked further allegations about their relationship. Paris, however, only talks about the intense betrayal she experienced following her split from Glenn and does not respond to the rumors regarding her romantic life. Working through emotional baggage. The Jacksons may have appeared to have an easy life because they were wealthy and famous, but they had a difficult time. Paris has recently been more forthcoming about her hardships. She talked about how difficult it was to lose her beloved father when she was just 11 years old. Furthermore, the young woman still experiences PTSD when she is around flashing cameras, and the controversy around him has hurt her. Additionally, the model talked about how difficult it was to come out to her deeply religious family. An alternative education. Paris's adolescent troubles led her to being moved to a private school in Hurricane, Utah. The Diamond Ranch Academy is a school for disturbed teenagers. Paris, however, has claimed that the Diamond Ranch exacerbated her PTSD. The young lady revealed that following her friend Paris Hilton's outspoken criticism of the institution, she had unpleasant experiences at boarding school. When her family sent her there as a girl, they did so with good intentions, but the school proved to be a poor decision for Paris. The Supermodel's walk. After gaining recognition for her distinctive attractiveness, Paris immediately secured a modeling contract with an international agency. After making the list of People magazine's Most Beautiful, she began her career in 2017. After appearing on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, her agency signed her. Paris has been featured on the covers of Vogue and other magazines since then and has walked many runways. Despite her apprehensions about flashing cameras, she is on her way to becoming a supermodel. The young artist received a nomination for Choice Model at the Teen Choice Awards in 2017. The talk of a role model. Paris nearly gave up modeling to get a degree in psychiatry. She eventually understood that doing so would be a waste of the affluent position she was born into. Instead, she puts a lot of effort into modeling to demonstrate to young ladies that beauty may take many forms. Paris volunteers for numerous significant causes and tries to be a good example. As an ambassador for the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, she has been quite active. She has also openly discussed her challenges and is an excellent champion for mental health awareness. From modeling to music. In addition to modeling and campaigning, Paris aspires to follow in her father's footsteps and become a music sensation. Paris's singing career started in 2018 when she and her ex-boyfriend, Gabriel Glenn, recorded a few songs as the Soundflowers, a musical duo. She has since signed a contract with Republic Records and made a name for herself as a solo musician. The gifted young woman published her debut album, Wilted, which debuted at the top of the iTunes Alternative Albums chart, along with her first single and music video, Let Down, in 2020. Paris Jackson's ink. Paris Jackson is notable for her numerous tattoos and distinct sense of style. The multi-talented person has about 18 tattoos and enjoys getting inked. Her body art includes a skull, a feather, numerous animals, geometric patterns, a reference to the movie Donnie Darko, and many more. In addition, Paris has a tattoo honoring her father. The artwork is on her right forearm and features Michael's characteristic curl and eyes, while the rest of his face is covered by an elaborate mask with patterns and animals. In addition, her chakra tattoos are identical to those of Macaulay Culkin. His memory lives on. Even though the king of pop is no longer with us, his legacy will endure forever. Michael would have celebrated his 60th birthday in 2018. Instead, he was honored with a public event. Paris and Michael Jr. were present. Michael Jackson received an award from the Elizabeth Taylor Foundation, which his children accepted on his behalf. Michael's music also serves as a living reminder of him. The vocalist significantly impacted music from various genres from his early years as a member of the Jackson 5 until his passing. In addition, he transformed dancing with routines like the robot and moonwalk. Paris in Fashion Week. Paris received an invitation to walk for Jean-Paul Gaultier during Paris Fashion Week in January 2020. Paris was honored to be a part of the renowned designer's final runway presentation. Therefore, the collection's energy was very similar to Paris's fashion style, which is bohemian chic and full of vibrant colors. Paris also has the chance to showcase her sense of style in television and movies. She is slated to play a lesbian woman named Jesus in the contentious independent movie Habit, marking her acting debut. The well-known Godparents. Paris has already made her debut in the American Horror Stories offshoot series and is scheduled to appear in the 10th season of Ryan Murphy's FX series American Horror Story. She also starred in the television series Scream and the movies Gringo and The Space Between. Where did Paris learn how to act? Paris's acting prowess may have come from her famous godparents. Michael was ecstatic when he requested two of his best friends to be godparents to his kids. The children's godfather was Macaulay Culkin, and their godmother was Elizabeth Taylor, both incredibly well-known actors. Who is the father? Some might argue that Macaulay Culkin's relationship with the Jackson children is too close. Controversial rumors haunt celebrities all the time. The idea that Michael Jackson may not be Paris and Prince's biological father is arguably the oldest rumor regarding him and his kids. Given the circumstances of their parents' marriage and the fact that they don't physically resemble their father, questions were raised about the authenticity of Michael's children. Macaulay and the Jacksons refuted the assertion made by some busybodies that he was their biological father. It's not very likely, given how close in age Culkin is to the children. Don't press the panic button. Michael Jackson had to be concerned about the security of his property because he was one of the most well-known celebrities in the world and had a sizable cult following. The devoted father wanted to ensure he and his children could notify security guards and get help in an emergency. To alert security only in an emergency, a panic button was installed in each room of the Neverland Ranch. Everyone on the property went into panic mode after Blanket once touched the panic button for laughs. Other fame-related claims. It has been alleged that some of Michael Jackson's pals, including Macaulay Culkin, are the fathers of the Jackson children. Mark Lester, a former child actor, has questioned whether he contributed to Paris and Prince. Lester has merely stated that it's feasible without refuting or confirming the story. The Oliver, according to the Star, he was pleased to assist his pal when Michael requested him for a gift. Lester asserted that it's challenging to identify the father because other donors from Jackson's inner circle, including Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando, also contributed. The Little Princess of Daddy. Although it is unpleasant to discuss parents' favoritism, Paris feels that she is her father's favorite. She has always known that she was her father's little princess, but she doesn't want to establish a rivalry with her brothers. Being so close to her father also explains why Paris found his death so tricky, even though it is evident that he loved all of his children. Paris thinks she has much in common with her father and likes to think he would be proud of her. Challenges in the spotlight. From his early years as the Jackson 5's most popular member, Michael Jackson lived his entire life in the spotlight. The pop star's connection with the media and paparazzi became complex once he was deprived of his upbringing. Michael attempted to recreate his lost youth at Neverland Ranch as an adult. It has not been easy for Michael's children, who are young adults mature enough to understand what the media has been saying about their father. Paris has defended her father in public and spoken out against the rumors that have been going about him. Holiday decorating. The Jackson family is devout Jehovah's Witnesses, and Michael followed their faith and didn't observe birthdays or holidays. But he fell in love with the holidays once he grew close to the famous Elizabeth Taylor. Michael decorated for Christmas for the first time in 1993. He never returned after that. Michael loved decorating Neverland Ranch for the holidays and was always fond of baubles and gaudy decorations. For his kids, seeing their mansions and lawns covered with holiday happiness each year was a fantastic experience. Just on particular occasions. Although Neverland Ranch, where the children grew up, had a private theme park, the rides weren't always available. Although Michael could afford to spoil his children, he prioritized their education because he wanted them to become self-sufficient, independent adults. Michael therefore only permitted the children to visit the amusement park on exceptional occasions or if they achieved high marks on their homeschooling assignments, rather than allowing them to go there all the time. The King of Pop told his kids that hard effort was necessary to reach their objectives. The children's trust funds. On the other hand, Michael Jackson's children inherited his wealth after his untimely death. At first, youngsters were only expected to be able to receive their trust monies after they reached adulthood. Until his passing, their father gave them enough money to maintain their way of life. On average, each child received almost $100 million. In addition to owning the rights to his iconic songs, Michael also owned 251 of the Beatles' songs and received royalties from them. For $47.5 million, Jackson bought the Beatles' repertoire in 1984. From Blanket to Bigi. Prince Michael Jackson II believed he had outgrown the moniker Blanket as he got older. In 2015, he changed his name. He was tired of being teased because he had nothing hiding his face. Bigi Jackson is the teen's new name. The young man believed Blanket was a nickname from his youth and no longer fit him. Instead, he went with a name that he believed in. Bigi, which translates to idealistic, inspirational, and sensitive in German, is a fitting name for the timid little man. Not your typical childhood. Bigi had always desired a typical upbringing, but as a Jackson, that was unattainable. After losing his father when he was just 7 years old, The sensitive young man was primarily nurtured by his grandmother, Catherine, and cousin, TJ. After that, he made an effort to lead as low-key a life as possible. Now that he's graduated from high school, Bigi works on his YouTube channel with his brother and cousin. He is also an avid comic book and movie enthusiast who is well-versed in both genres. All grown up. Despite being the most reserved of the Jackson children, Bigi nevertheless appears in public on certain occasions. He was pleased to support Prince by attending his older brother's graduation from college. Bigi has also been on The X Factor and E! And went to the Grammys with his siblings. Bigi, who turned 22 in 2024, has stated that he wants to work as a filmmaker. He has apologized for not inheriting his father's singing and dancing skills. Bigi would much rather be behind the camera than in front of it and always avoids the spotlight. Reconnecting with Debbie Rowe. Paris and Prince's mother was absent from their lives during Michael Jackson's lifetime, but she reappeared when Paris was 15 and Prince was 16. Paris discussed their connection on Willow Smith's show, Red Table Talk, and the children's mother was permitted to visit them. Paris clarified that her relationship with Debbie is more akin to a friendship and said she appreciates how laid-back their relationship is. She revealed that she emails Debbie the music she's working on and that they share some musical preferences. There for one another. The Jacksons are Jehovah's Witnesses, but Paris has distanced herself from the faith, which has caused difficulties for her family. She revealed that she only sees her family during the holidays and that some find accepting her for who she is demanding. The Jacksons don't celebrate the holidays since they are Jehovah's Witnesses. They still gather as a family, though. Paris and her brothers have remained close and are always there to support each other, even if they live far away from some of her extended family.
If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon